Alright, little Bloomburrow. We'll start with the play box, play booster. Get my little tool in here. Get the plastic off. While I'm doing this, what's the big news? Is someone's got a CT scanner rigged up to scan Pokemon packs. It means it can scan any pack, which, you know, I think it specifically can find foils amongst regular cards, but if every card is foil, I don't know how that works. Plus, while the person did spend $1,500 and fix it up, they were probably a CT technician, so you'd have to get your hands on a CT scanner that's broken and fix it up. Who knows how much that would cost, or buy a new one, and that's probably extremely expensive. So, you know, it's not this bombshell that people are making it out to be. Not everyone is. I mean, in fact, I don't think most people are making it out to be a bombshell, but there's the guy who's like really integral in making videos about Logan Paul and about the fake Pokemon booster that he had, or the Pokemon case that he had. That guy is, I don't know, sounding the alarm. I think he's exaggerating a little. What the implications are. Oh, you know what? I forgot my glasses. Oh well, we'll get through this. These are some nice foil lands here. Oh, Paw Patch. Right. Bumbleflower's Sharepour. I don't know what the hits are in this really, but let's take a look at this thing. Now, I think most people are aware that Bloomburrow is doing quite well. It moved quite quickly here, and the other people who, you know, talk about this kind of stuff have also, you know, reported on it moving quite well. So I think it's a hit of a set. I mean, I think that's what everyone was kind of expecting, and they weren't disappointed. I mean, if you were, let me know. Let me know if you were like all in on Bloomburrow, and then suddenly at the last minute, at the nth hour, it just let you down. Because you might be an outlier, but you know, we still need to hear about this kind of stuff. Now, it has wonderful, wonderful art. There's no doubt about that. I don't know whether it's invoking Secret of Nim. I mean, it's probably invoking a lot of these old like cartoons and stuff that we watched as kids, and then, you know, regardless whether you're, I don't know, Gen X, Gen Millennials, Gen Z, whatever, I think that it's sort of close enough to all of them. I'll put that art card aside. So I think it's really hit everyone's, I don't know, nostalgia, as well as, you know, generally speaking, I think people like cute animals, not to the exclusion of all others in Magic, but they like the idea of being able to also, once in a while, play a deck of cutesy animals. That may not be what they're going to do all the time, but at least knowing that it's possible. And then, of course, there's people with their tribal decks that have, I don't know if anyone was ever making an otter tribal deck, but, you know, the ability to do so, you know, slightly increased by, I don't know how many cards are otters in this set, but yeah. Now, if otters are your thing and you want to make an otter deck, then that's what you can do. What's this one? Season of the Bold. Haven't heard anything about that, so I doubt it's a massive hit. And yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, mice, squirrels, cats, dogs. I mean, you know, they had the cats and dogs secret lair that that came out last year, and it was a big hit, which kind of, told us that not just that cats and dogs would be a big thing, but that, people were looking for animals. And, obviously this set had been planned well before the drop of the cats and dogs deck, but, this was a harder than usual pack to open. And the back door was also required a little bit more pressure than normal. I don't know whether it was overglued or what, but was that Starscape Cleric? Glarb? Glarb, huh? Alright. Glarb is a thing. And it was pretty clever to make it like, I don't know whether it's some sort of magical thing that envelops the world that makes everyone have to be animals, or whether, just to fit in, the planeswalkers were turning themselves into animals. I was unclear on that part. But either way, having the planeswalkers as cutesy animals also was a bit of a stroke of genius on their part. It didn't, it wasn't the knock out of the park, because there was other stuff in the set that knocked it out of the park. That was more of the icing on the cake that people were looking for. So, I don't know. Someone put icing on a baseball and then knocked it out of the park. If you want to go with that, that's not even a compressed metaphor. That's a mixed metaphor. Any English teachers out there, you want to give me a failing grade for that metaphor, go right ahead, put it in the comments. Yeah, I mean, the art is just pretty stunning on this set, and that's not usually what I'm looking for in sets. I'm looking for cohesion and an interesting theme and art that matches that theme, but I'm not. Ooh, there's the signed card. I'm not, my ability to appreciate art is fairly limited. I've just never been a visual art kind of guy. There's certain things that I like. I think I've mentioned in other videos, Larry Elmore, Keith Parkinson, that kind of stuff. And my cousin, Drew Simpson. There you go. There's a shout out. Go check out Drew Simpson on the interwebs. His art at the Cuts Gallery, but he has his own gallery as well in Toronto called The Dre. So you should check that out if you're looking for some pretty amazing art, because I can appreciate my cousin's art. Don't know if I can appreciate it because he's my cousin, and also because he is pretty fantastic, and a lot of people in the high-end art world agree, so I can say that without being biased just because he's my cousin. But yeah, it'd be wonderful to see his art on a Magic card one day, but he's on a different level than Magic cards, so it's probably never gonna happen. I like that treatment. The red on it with a slight pinkish tinge really fits the set. What else is in here? I don't know about the land cycle in this. Anyone know what's hip with the land cycle? Oh god, another one of these difficult packs. There we go. The foil treatments are quite nice. So now we've gone through, not a difficult summer like last summer, but this was quite a few sets in a row, and Modern Horizons 3 starting that off with being very expensive. So, whether you're a store ordering or whether you're just a customer buying, Magic was dipping into your pocketbook, pocket wallet, whatever. Legendary Land, 3 Tree City. I think I heard about this one. Yeah, this is a nice one. Anyway, they've dipped into your pockets 3 times now. If you didn't skip Assassin's Creed, which some people did. Now we're in Bloomburrow, and because that's the thing is the people that were, excited about sets were both excited about, Modern Horizons 3 and Bloomburrow. It was less likely that people wouldn't be, chomping at the bit to get both. Which one do I do? Wishing Well or Salvation Swan? Yeah, we'll do Wishing Well. So, the Modern Horizons 3 was expensive, and then Bloomburrow's, now the new raised price or whatever because we have play boosters and no draft boosters and no set boosters. So you've spent quite a bit of money this summer if you've been looking forward to these 2 sets. So we're kind of coming out of it now, and at the end of the summer, and then sometime near the end of September we'll get Dustborn. And then I think there'll be quite a reprieve because, if we're only getting Foundations at the end of the year, and, you're a Magic player and you've been a Magic player for a while, you don't really need much from Foundations, if anything, so therefore you won't need to spend on Foundations at the end of the year, and you can comfortably go back to Bloomburrow, Modern Horizons 3, or even Assassin's Creed, or you could finally get some Karlov Manor, right? That's what you've been, waiting for, is to get some Karlov Manor. And it's just been set after set after set, and you just never got around to it, and you're really upset you haven't got any Karlov Manor, right? Let me know in the comments that you've been desperately waiting to get some Karlov Manor. That's a lot of text on a token. What's this? So, like I said, there's a bit of a reprieve now, and you can stock up on your Modern Horizons 3 and Bloomburrow and some Thunder Junction. And then Dustborn comes out at the end of September, and I think people have started to get excited about that. I'm still on the fence about it, but obviously I'll order the same amount because it's not about me, it's about who wants what, right? So, I don't know. If you've been excited about Dustborn this whole time, let me know. Because I don't think people have been like, yeah, they're okay with it, but they're not super chomping at the bit to get it until recently, and now they kind of are. Despite the, people not necessarily liking the anachronisms in there, like the things that are like TVs or whatever, but, we've kind of crossed that hill. That's a nice little foil there. So once Dustborn drops and you've spent more money on Dustborn, basically from October, November, December, you're not missing out on anything really. So you don't have to FOMO on anything, unless they put something crazy in Foundations that suddenly everyone needs to buy it. But obviously there'll be some good reprints, but I don't really think that unless you haven't been in Magic for like myself, I've only been in since 2020, so Foundations might very well work well for me, right? Because I don't have necessarily all the staples, right? And it's a core set basically, and I didn't buy many core sets starting in 2020, and there's other things that were in other core sets before. So if this is a 5-year thing, and maybe if it's constantly refreshed, then maybe it's a product for me. Not necessarily, let's see, Dawn's Truce or Keen-Eyed. We'll look at Dawn's Truce. Yeah. So, I guess with the whole thing with the life cycle of Magic players being 2.5 years or something like that. So maybe the majority needs a Foundation set. And maybe that's the reason for the hiccups or the stop and start and go of core sets, because they kind of play out with the people that are in Magic, and then a lot of people drop out, and then new people come in, or old people come back or whatever, and then you need more core set stuff. You need more foundations. And like I said, if it's going to be 5 years that it's going to last on the shelves, and maybe if they refresh it, they got rid of the list. That would have been the easiest method for them to refresh it, because then I just need to refresh the list. Because then they're changing the product, and they're having to do new print runs and stuff like that if they refresh the whole thing. Whereas they could just repackage or not package stuff and refresh the list itself and then package. But they'll probably do so. I mean, there is the, what was it called, special guests, which is, you know, not dissimilar to the list, and while it's smaller in number, in total inclusions in the pack, and also the size of how many things are on that as opposed to the list. And that's not to say it can't be expanded and just become the list 2.0. So that would be, I don't know if that's the way they're going to do it, but I mean, from my perspective, I think that works best. Special guest, expand special guest, refresh special guest over certain periods of time to update the foundations and keep it fresh in people, so that, you know, it doesn't stagnate on shelves. That's a nice treatment on that card. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think that's how they should handle foundations, or do you think no, it's fine? Corsets, you know, did fine. Sat on shelves for however long. They didn't move quickly like some of the standard sets or the specialty sets or whatever. But that's just the nature of it, and it'll be fine. If that's the way you feel about it, let me know. I don't necessarily disagree. I don't know enough about it to disagree or agree. I'm just thinking that based on people, you know, the way people get engaged with this thing, like look at Bloomburrow, you know, people were a little bit excited, and then it gets ramped up, and then everybody just comes and gets it on release day, and they're desperate to have it, and then, you know, they're gonna play with it, but then slowly they're gonna forget about it and move on to Dustmore, right? So that's only, you know, a month and a half, a month, right? And a lot, if not most, if not almost all, have moved on. Then, you know, what's a 5-year set gonna be like? I don't know. You know, actually, this is where they could use serialized cards, and they could announce reprintings of the foundations and new serialized cards in the reprint, right? So that then, you know, they're giving you all the staples. They're not necessarily refreshing what they think the staples are for the 5 years, but they are refreshing what the serialized cards you could possibly get are. And for the people that want to bling out their deck with serialized cards, then they could do that, right? Then that means they have to reprint collector boxes, and that doesn't necessarily help the play boxes. So maybe they should put the serialized cards in play boxes and not have collector boxes, but people want collector boxes. I don't know. Make some sort of hybrid product that's collector box in, but then you're making it too expensive. There you go. See, I'm rambling and I'm disagreeing with myself. If you think I hit on a good point, let me know, because I'm not really sure that I did. That's a beautiful card there. It seems all the mythics are in the end of this box opening. If you saw something in here that you were really excited for, let me know about it. And I don't know. There's people that watch box opening videos and evaluate the value of the box, so I'm totally open to that. I'd get a kick out of seeing what the value is that I opened up. No. It's not necessarily important, because obviously I'm just selling singles in store. and I'm just opening it up so that my players have access to the singles. But it's nice to know. I'll have to move this stack over. So, does anyone consider Bloomburrow their favorite of all time Magic set? That's interesting. In fact, I'd like to know what most people think are their favorite all-time Magic sets. I mean, you know, there's the ABU Four Horsemen, as Rudy puts it, but I don't know. I mean, I think it's valid for him to say that that's his favorite set because he's got a lot of it. You know, a lot of multiples of it. He's been collecting a hell of a lot of it. But it's difficult to say that's your favorite set if you don't have any of it, right? So I'm thinking, like, you know, sets that you collected, that you have a lot of, you know, what's your favorite set? The longest time, mine was probably Kaldheim, but well, and I was really excited about Thunder Junction, but I don't think it is a little bit better than Kaldheim, I guess. But I don't know. I actually think probably Commander Masters because I went so deep into it. Even that shouldn't really count. Doesn't have any flavor to it really. It's just awesome to open. But so I'm thinking of, you know, standard sets, or at least sets that have some sort of story behind them that Wizards has put some time into, even though maybe some people think that they didn't put enough time into Outlaws of Thunder Junction. But yeah, let me know what your favorite set is in the comments.